Hi there and welcome into this tutorial. In this tutorial I want to show how you can create a roguelike game just like this one. So as you saw there, that's the roguelike game that I created in this video. I'm going to be focusing more on gameplay, so I'm going to be showing about how we can make the core gameplay mechanics that we are going to usually have in a roguelike game. In order to create our roguelike game, I'm going to be using the third-person template, and I actually imported just one sound. It is an arrow sound because, as you saw on the start of the video, I'm going to be using a character that has a bow and I'm going to be shooting arrows. So as you can see, just a normal arrow sound. There is one more thing that I need to say at the start of this video, that is about the roguelike games. It's a little bit trickier to say exactly what is a roguelike game because even though there is a clear definition, nowadays most games is not really following those definitions. But I think I can trace back to what is a roguelike game by saying that it is a fast-pacing game where you start with almost zero stats for your shooting abilities and things like that, your abilities, your attacks and things like that, and over the time you're going to be increasing these stats till you become, let's say, something like a god and have thousands, not actually thousands, but dozens of enemies coming in your screen. So this fast-pacing evolution, I think it is what is really unique for the roguelike games. And actually there is more about that because most of those games is in games, for indie companies, from indie companies, and I can't really say what you are going to be making in your game to make it really unique because they always have something that make them truly unique. But what I'm going to be focusing over here is to give you a template that you can use to build your own roguelike game. So I'm going to be focusing more on gameplay to give you this, to show how you can make your enemies, your characters, make this evolution for what would be a roguelike game. So to start this, I am actually going to be importing a few assets because I'm not going to be creating this in this video. So just as you saw at the start, I'm going to be exporting the Sparrow character, and I'm going to also be importing our enemies as well. So let's go to Epic Games Marketplace. So let's go to Epic. As you can see over here, this is the first one that I'm going to be importing to our project, Paragon Sparrow. For this tutorial, I would really recommend you to use the same one as mine because since the focus is on gameplay, I'm going to be building gameplay for this character over here. So let's just add to our project, and I think it was roguelike. Yeah, this one over here, roguelike. Just add to our project. There is one more. I think it is Paragon Minions, something like that. Let me take a look. Yeah, this one. So the next one is going to be Paragon Minions. Just as before, just add to project. Let's get Rogue and this. So my project is one over here. I'm going to be adding to our project. It is going to take just a little bit. I have downloaded this already, so it's going to be a lot faster for me. Back in our project, let's go to our content drawer once we have downloaded everything. So I have Paragon Sparrow and Paragon Minions now. I'm going to first open the Paragon Sparrow, then I'm going to Characters, Heroes, Sparrow, and I'm going to be opening this Sparrow Player Blueprint class. Open this up, and as you can see, we have already made blueprint for this character, and I'm actually going to be using this. If you don't know how to create this from scratch, don't worry, we are going to be creating one from scratch for our enemy, but for this one, there is no such need, but I need to modify quite a few things over here, because as you can see over here, there are quite a lot of mistakes. So let's start doing that. The first thing is that we are going to be using input actions, and we have already let me just drag this around a bit. Yeah, we have already mapping context text was made for the third person template. So if I go to our third person character blueprint, actually I think it is input. As you can see, I have this one over here that has the mappings for a few actions, and I'm going to be adding another ones as well. So I'm going to be using this one, but I need to get this in this pair player character. So for that, let's get the event begin play. So get begin play like that. Then I'm going to get controller, and then I am going to cast to PP. I think it is player controller. Yeah, I'm going to be casting to player controller like that. Then let's just get enhance it. Input locale, yeah, this one over here, enhance it, input locale player subsystem. Then I'm going to be checking if this is valid. So just get this valid statement, this one over here. Then if it is true, just as we did in many other videos, just add mapping context, just like that. So this is pretty basic, just to add this mapping context for our player. So now I can add those input actions into here. So the input action is going to be this MC underscore default. Just place it over there. There's going to be more logic over here for our widgets and things like that, but for now, just leave it like that. This is our event begin play. And let's just show bubble like so. So now let's start. I think I'm going to be start with, yeah, I'm not going to be using the gamepad input. This is going to be for PC only. So delete that, delete this. Let's see, yeah, the mouse input. We are going to be making this a little bit different, not that much, but basically I'm going to just get, I think it was EI look, something like that. Let's see, yeah. So I'm going to be getting this EI look over here. So just get EI underscore look. And hence this one over here, like so. Then I am going to get, I think it's going to be the same logic as over here, but there is only one. So I'm going to just get from trigger, add controller yaw input. And then I am going to get add controller pinch input, like so. Then for our access value, actually, yeah, I think I'm not going to have to split this action value. So just right click, split through pin, get access value, place over there, and then over here in our pinch, just like so. So this is for our camera movement. So just get this as our camera movement. Now let's show bubble for this, like so. Now I don't need this mouse input anymore. For the jump is, yes, not that difficult. It's going to be very similar. I'm going to just be deleting this. And I'm going to get, I think it is EI underscore jump. Yeah, this one over here. So on trigger, over jump, and then complete it over stop jumping. Like so. Just like that. Jumping is fine now. Oops. Like so. Now for our movement. For our movement, it's going to be slightly different. I don't have two of those. I think it is only one per move. So, but this, as you can see over here, 1 second, as you can see over here, it is access to the value. So I'm going to be getting both of these access values from the same one. So just delete this and delete this. Then I'm going to get EI underscore move like that. Just like so. Let me see how I'm going to be placing this. I'm actually going to be placing this down here. As you can see, I have the value for the rect vector over here. So in this one, on trigger, I'm going to be first adding this movement input. And then again, split this action value, struct pin, and then place this on our axis scalar value. And then I am going to just be placing this down here. Don't worry, but I'm going to be adjusting this. So just place this one in our scalar value. Let's get a root node and let's just adjust this a bit. Should not be such a mess. 1 second. I'm going to be placing this over here so that I can adjust this a little bit better. So This is our AI. I think I'm going to be placing this. Oh, yeah, something like that. Get a root node over here, like so. Yeah, that's good. I think that's good. Just leave it like that. And then, yeah, sorry about that. Let's just leave it like so. And that should be good. Our movement should be good now. Just leave like that. Now compile it, save it. And as you can see, we don't have any more errors. I'm actually not going to be using the touch input as well, so I'm going to be deleting that. And let me see, this is for our attack. I'm going to be creating a push action for this as well. But for now, let me just test this to see if our player can move around without any problem. So for that, let's go to our file, active edit, and then let's go to project settings. Let's get game mode. And as you can see over here, I have our player, our default pen class. I'm going to be using this Sparrow player character. So just get it over. Actually, let's go back there. Where it was? Yeah, over here. Let's just search for it over here. So let's get. Actually, it is this one over here, Sparrow player character. And yeah, that should be good. Save it is. Let's go to our game. Let's hit play and let's see what happens. As you can see, I have our character over here. And the shootability is working. The animation is already working. That's because it is using by default this animation over characters, zero, sparrow. It is using this sparrow animation over here. Now let's add our input action for our shoot ability. Actually, it is not an ability, it is going to be our main attack. As you can see over here, it is already working, but I'm not using input actions, and it would be better if you use that since we are using that for movement. So let me show how we can create input action. So let's go to our third person inputs. This is the folder where you're going to have your inputs. I am not going to be adjusting the location of each folder, you can do that by yourself. But basically what you're going to do is that you have a folder for your input actions. We are going to right click and let's go to input, select input action. The next one is going to be I underscore, let's say attack. Yeah, let's just say attack, like so. And then this is going to be Boolean by default, don't need to change that. Let's go to input, EMC default. Over here, I'm going to be adding one. That's going to be the one that you have just created, EI attack. Let's expand this. You're going to be selecting the key that you want to use. In my case, it is the left mouse button, and it's probably going to be the same one for you. And then over here, I'm going to get EI underscore attack, like that. Now I am going to be leaving this on trigger. And let me see what's the next one. Yeah, this is for gamepad. I'm not going to be using that, so just leave this one and delete it. I can delete this comment as well. And should be good, should be working fine. Let's just test one more time just to see if this is working. And yeah, this is working fine. Yeah, I just noticed a problem with our animation. It's not aligning. Yeah, let's say if I aim up or down, it's not changing the direction of our bow. So I'm going to be fixing that. Let's go to our content drawer, Paragon Sparrow, characters, heroes, Sparrow, and over here, open this animation blueprint. Let's see, let's take a look what was the problem. I think it should be in the anim grab. Yeah, so in here, in this anim locomotion, this locomotion mass plus an aim offset, I'm going to define this alpha value to 1, compile it, save it. Let's take a look now. Yeah, it is working. Let me just take a look. Yeah, now it is working fine. I think I'm going to have to adjust the camera location because it's not quite like I wanted. Because this is quite good for a third-person game, but for this type of games, I don't want the character to be so big on the screen. So I'm going to be modifying that. Let's go to our Paragon. Let's go to Viewport. As you can see, I have the camera right here. Let's just expand this a bit so that I can see. So I think I'm going to be doing two things. First, I'm going to actually get a little bit more distance from our character, and then I'm actually going to get this up as well. So with our camera boom selected, I'm going to get this up, maybe here, compile it, save it, let's take a look. Yeah, I really want our character to be small. I think I got a lot of reference from Risk of Rain 2, and they have the character really small, and I think it's good because you're going to have a lot of things on your screen once your character starts to have, let's say, dozens of enemies at any time. So it would be good to leave it like that. Maybe you could actually, in your case, maybe you are doing something a little bit different. You could also place this camera a little bit to our left or to your right, but it's up to you. You need to have to find the right mix for you. In my case, I think I'm going to actually just be placing this a little bit closer to our character, compile it, save it, let's take a look again. Yeah, that's good for me. And yeah, it is changed the direction of the arrow. That's good. Now our character is able to shoot arrows, but there's still one major problem. We are not shooting anything. So I need to make this in a way that is going to spawn a project. It's going to spawn an arrow that's going to be maybe hit an enemy or something like that. And that's mainly what we're going to be doing now. So let's go to our content drawer. I'm going to content. Let's go to Paragon Sparrow, characters, heroes, Sparrow, and over here, let's right click. Let's get blueprint class. And then I am going to be selecting an actor. This one is going to be our BP underscore arrow. Open this up. And here in our viewport, in our components, I am going to be adding a cube like so. And I'm going to be stretching this quite a bit. So mainly this is going to be our arrow. You can use a static mesh for your arrow if you want. Yeah, I don't think it's something that your player is going to be paying too much attention, even more when things get quite fast. So I'm going to be using like this, but yeah, it's not going to be that small. Let me just adjust this a bit more. And now I just recalled that I am actually going to be changing our mesh for our Sparrow character. There is actually no need for to change the mesh. It's just that I look into the skins and I think it was, let's see, Raven maybe. Yeah, I quite like this one over here. So I have this mesh and I prefer a lot using this one. And so I'm actually going to be making the color of our arrow looking something like this as well. So I'm going to be using this mesh. Let's go to our VP Sparrow, and over here in our with our mesh selected, let's go down here, get content drawer. I'm going to use the Sparrow Raven, but you don't need to use the same as mine. It's just a personal preference of mine. Yeah, that should look quite, yeah, so this is the one I'm going to be using, as you can see. And now let's go to our BP arrow. I'm going to be needing a texture for this as well. So let's go to content drawer. Let's go back to Paragon Sparrow, characters, heroes, Sparrow. And over here, I have this textures folder. I'm going to be creating, actually I think just to have this separated, I'm going to right click and create over here. So I'm going to be creating actually a material, not a texture. Let's create this material. And let's say this one is going to be our arrow underscore material, like that. Open this up. Now with this open, I am going to right click and I'm going to get constant, and I'm going to get constant with div3 vector. Let's open this up. I think this is going to be a little bit closer to blue, but anyways, it depends on which skin you choose to use to see which one would be better. I would recommend to get something closer to match the arrow, the color of the arrow of the skin that you selected. In my case, should be something like this. Let me take a look. Yeah, I need to connect that first. Sorry about that. So now with the first one, I'm going to be connecting this to our emissive color and the blue to our base color. Now apply. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's not quite like I wanted. I am back, and I'm actually going to make a few modifications to this texture now. I found the right color for me, and I think I'm going to be back to that one. So now in our blade mode, I'm going to be select translucent, and here in our material domain, I'm going to be selecting the ferro decal. Like so, let's apply this, and that's something closer to what I want. I'm going to save this. Now in our BP arrow, I'm going to be placing the material over there, over here. Yeah, that's mainly it, but it is too big, I think. I think I'm going to be scaling this a bit down. So let me just take a look. I think the one we're going to be working for this is going to be 0.2. And then, yeah, this one needs to be quite smaller, maybe 0.02. Let's take a look. Yeah, not quite, not quite. Let's leave this as 0.03. And let's see. Yeah, I think it's closer to what I want. I don't want this to be too big because later on in our game, our player may be shooting quite a lot of this. So it does not need to make this too big. I think like so would be already great. And we also have to add another event for this. That's going to be for the event hit, when it's going to be hitting our enemies and so on. So let's get event hit. And then get a branch. From this branch, I am actually going to get from our other actor, I'm going to get actor as tag. And I'm going to be checking if this actor has the tag of enemy. This is something that I'm going to be adding later on. You don't need to worry about that right now. If it is true, then I'm going to get a do once. And I am going to be applying damage for our enemy. The base damage, let's see, I think I'm going to be create a variable for that so that I can change later on. Base damage, this one is going to be a float. Compile it, by default is going to be, let's say, 25 points. Let's leave it right here. Place as our base damage. The damage actor is going to be the other actor. So just get a node into here, like so. Let's get our root. That's a little bit easier to see. And oops, and here. Yeah, that yeah, a little bit up over there. Yeah, that should be good. I'm not going to use any of those events, so just delete that. Compile it, save it. There is one more thing that I need to add for this actor. That's going to be our components. I'm going to be adding projectile. Yeah, movement. This one over here. I'm not going to be modifying nothing right now. Just leave like that, and let's test this. But I still need to create the logic for our character shooting ability. So let's go to our Sparrow Paragon, our Sparrow player character. Let's continue with this. Now in our Sparrow player character, I'm going to be creating our project spawn logic. That's basically what's going to be when every time I shoot is going to be spawned. This actor should be moving forward, and yeah, that's basically it. So let's just get this up over here. And then I'm actually going to be creating another event. So let's get custom event. This one is going to be, let's say, bullet. 1 second, just made a small mistake over there. Like so. Then I am going to first get our player camera manager. This one over here. And then I'm going to get camera rotation, just like that. Then I am going to rotate vector. This event over here. I think the default value would be 100, like so, and minus 10. Second, minus 10, like that. And there is just one problem. I need to spawn this in a specific location. That would be a socket. I don't think we have that in our character, so I'm going to have to create that. So let's go to our skeleton. Let's first get animation blueprint. Over here I can get the skeleton. So over here, yeah, I don't think we have anything for our... Let's just try to play animation. Actually, let's just search for arrow and let me see if I have something like that. I think I have this arrow anchor. Let's preview animation of something closer to attack or something like that, just so that I can see. Preview animation, attack. Let me see, hit action, idle, something like... Yeah, I think it is far. Yeah, this one over here. Let me see the arrow point. So yeah, I think this arrow anchor could actually be used. I'm not sure if this would be changing. Yeah, let's try that. I don't think it is actually changing it. So I'm going to be spawning from our arrow anchor. Let me take a look. Yeah, the error is not. I'm going to be using this one over here. So I'm going to just be copying, actually rename this so that I can copy the name. And let's try with that. So over here, I'm going to get socket. Let's get our mesh first. Then get socket location. Socket location like so. Let's place that name over here. And then I'm going to get this one. Let's get a bit more of space over here. Let's add this to this value over here. Yeah, that should be good. Let's get a little bit down here. This event, I'm going to be placing it over here. And then I'm going to make transform like so. And then from our camera rotation, I'm going to be placing to our rotation over here. Let's place this down here like that. The scale, I don't need to change anything on the scale, just leave it like that. And then I am going to spawn actor from class. The actor is going to be the one at this spawn transform over here, and the actor is going to be the one that we have just created, rbp_arrow, like so. And yeah, I think that should be basically it. I'm going to also be playing a sound, so yeah, I can't forget about that. So just play sound at location like that. And then from our add value, I'm going to get the location where it should be playing the sound. So let's get a root node down here and down here like that. Yeah, that should be good. I still need to create this cool. So let's go to our content drawer. And then content, I'm going to use this sound over here. So right click, let's create a cool. This one's going to be our arrow_cool. Open this up, let's take a look. I'm going to be decreasing the volume multiplier. Let's try with 0.6. And let's increase the pitch multiplier. Let's try with 1.1. Let's try with 1.2. Yeah, that's more like it, like I wanted. Let's go back to our error character, our spare player character. And over here, I'm going to be playing this arrow cool that I have just made it. And yeah, that should be it. Now I need to be calling that event over here in our combo system setup. I'm going to be calling that bullets here and then here as well. So just leave it like that. This is our bullet logic. So just right click. Let's get bullets over here. Show comments. And now I need to test this in our game. So compile everything, save it, and let's see if this works out. I should be hearing a sound and should be shooting, but it's not going forward for some reason. It's just dropping to the ground. But as you can see, I am hearing the sounds. I just think it is too loud. So there's not really a problem right now, but later on when you're, let's say you are shooting 2 or 3 times every second, then that could be a problem. So let's decrease this to 0.4. Let's save it. Let's try again. Yeah, it's a little bit better. It's not quite. Let's try with 0.3. Yeah, now it's better. Now let's see what is the problem with our character. Why actually our project? Why is dropping to the ground? I think the initial speed is actually none. I'm going to leave it at 3000 and the max speed as 3000 as well. So let's see. Should be good now. I don't want this to bounce, but if you want, you can add this as well. And yeah, that should be good. Compile it, save it. Let's try again. So as you can see, it is going forward. It's a little bit harder to see, but I know I am shooting something. I know when it hits, and I don't want this to be too big to be on the screen. So yeah, I think I could maybe increase this. Yeah, I'm going to increase this a bit. I don't want this to be too big, but right now I'm not seeing anything. So I'm going to be increasing this. Let's get the size of this, the scale of this. Let's try with 0.8, actually 1. And then for here, 0.1 as well. That's not what I wanted, but let's try with 0.05, a little bit better, and 0.0, maybe 8. Save it. Let's try again in our game. Yeah, I'm not actually seeing anything. I can see sometimes, but it's not quite like I wanted. I need to change that again. So let's go back over here. Let's try with 0. Let's leave at 0.1 here and 0.1 here as well. Here, let's leave at 0.5. And then over here, I'm going to be increasing this to 0.5 as well. Save everything. Let's take a look again. Now it's a lot better. I can see that I am shooting something. I don't want this to be in the screen every time, but as you can see, I am shooting things. It is hitting just like I wanted. I'm going to be creating a widget so that I know where I am aiming, but that's not something that I'm going to be doing right now. For the next part, we are going to be creating our first enemy. So for that, the first thing that I'm going to be doing is to close everything over there, because I'm not going to be using that for a while. One of the main things that you're going to have in your game is that not only you have your character, your gameplay for your character, but you're going to have a lot of enemies. And I'm going to be showing how you can create those enemies. So for that, let's go to our content drawer. I have these Paragon minions. Let's go to characters. I'm going to be opening a map. So let's go. I think it was, I'm not sure which one it was, but I'm going to be opening this minions map, because there are more than only one option for this. As you can see, there are quite a few options. I think I have looked at this a little bit early, and I think the one that would fit best for my intent would be some of this. So I was actually thinking about using one of these. So let's just right click, but you can use other one if you want, it's up to you. I'll only not recommend to use this one because it is a minion. Something like this would be good for a boss or something like that. So let's right click, browse to assets. So this one, it's the one that I'm going to be using. I think he has quite a few good animations. He has a few attacks animations, and I quite like this one. I'm going to be making him a little bit smaller, but this is just a personal choice of mine. So to create this, I'm going to be using these down minions. I think any of those you're going to have the same skeleton. I'm not completely sure, but anyways, it's going to be this one. Yeah, they don't have the same skeleton. There are a few skeletons over here, but I'm going to be using this one. So now that I know which one I am going to be using, let's go to our content drawer. Over here, I'm going to right click and I'm going to be creating a new folder for our enemies. Let's just name enemy. So there's going to be quite a lot of files for this to work. So first thing is that I'm going to be creating another folder that's going to be for our behavior tree. You don't need to worry about that right now. Just leave like that for now. And the next one is that I'm going to be create a blueprint class for this enemy. So for our Sparrow Paragon, we had a character already created. For this one, we are going to be making it from scratch. So just select a blueprint class. I'm going to be selecting a character. And this one is going to be our BP underscore minion. Open this up. Now here in our components, in our mesh, select our mesh, and then let's just get that one that I have just choose over there. This one over here, I'm going to be placing it over here. Drag this down a bit, like so. Let's rotate, so that's facing the right direction. Yeah, that should be good. As you can see, the capsule component is not quite right. Actually, it is quite good. Yeah, I think it is quite good actually. So yeah, I'm not going to be worrying about the capsule component right now. Maybe I'm going to have to adjust a little bit. And yeah, I think I'm going to just be making this a little bit larger. Um, so the thing is that if I scale it up or down, it's going to change how big our minion is as well. To change only the shape, I'm going to be using this one over here. So I think something like this, maybe not quite right, because you need to think that this capsule component is also something that should trigger the event hit. So if you throw the mesh should trigger the event hit as well. It depends on your collision settings, but I still want to have this trigger the event hit. So when our character shoots, it should be triggered this. Yeah, I think that's, yeah, not, I'm going to get the animation first so that I can see it a little bit better with the animation. Leave like that for now. Talking about animations, we are going to have to create animation blueprint for this as well. So let's do that. Let's go to our content folder again. Let's go to enemy over here. I'm not sure if I have to create a new folder for this. No, I'm not going to be creating a new folder for now. Just leave it like that. Let's right click, then animation, and select animation blueprint. So I need to select the skeleton for this one, and I don't actually remember the skeleton for this one. So let's open our BP minion, and it is already over here. Let's get actually this one over here so that I can see which one is the right skeleton. So it's going to be this minion lane core skeleton. So now let's go back there, right click, let's get animation blueprint. It is minion underscore lane core skeleton. There is more than one? No, there is only one. So this one over here, then hit create. This one is going to be our anim. Actually, let's say, yeah, anim underscore minion. Now let's place this in our mesh. Animation should be over here. So I'm going to be selecting the one that to have just created anim underscore minion. Compile it, save it. It didn't do anything because we don't have anything in our animation yet. So let's do that right now. So this is animation blueprint, just like with the Sparrow, but in this case there is actually not curated yet. We have a few videos talking about how you can use animation blueprints. So in this one, we are going to only be focusing on how about making this work out. So the first thing is that I'm going to be getting a state. So let's get a machine, should be state machine, this one over here. So it's going to be the first one is going to be for the base animation of our character, and the next one is that I'm going to be getting a slot default because I am going to be playing a few animation montages, and for that reason I need a slot default as well. Just place it here and into here. Still, it didn't do anything because we need to set our base animation first. Let's go over here. There are a few states that I'm going to be setting over here. The first one is for idle, and then the next one is going to be for running. You can make it more complex by adding things like walking, attacks, everything here inside the animation blueprint. But I prefer do this using anime montages in our character and using animation behavior trees. So for that reason, here I'm going to be only have two states. That's going to be idle and walking. So for that, let's get from entry. I'm going to be getting a state. This one's going to be for idle. And then let's get another state. This one is going to be, let's say, for running. Let's just get another arrow. So let's one thing is that when this starts, is going to get for our idle animation, but then it's good to get to running, but it should be able to get back for idle as well. So let's get an arrow back over here. And then in idle, I'm going to be opening this up. Then we are going to be seeing here in asset browser that have a few animations. I'm going to be searching for idle. So should be, let me see. I'm not completely sure which one it is. So let's open this up and let's take a look. Yeah, it's not that one. Let's get back over there. Not this one as well. Am I using the right skeleton? No, I'm not completely sure if I am using the right skeleton. Let's get idle over here. Actually, sorry, not preview mesh. Should be in here. Yeah, I'm not completely sure if this one is right. It's clear not this one. I think this one is for when he's holding that weapon. And I think should be this one. Yeah, it should be this one. He should not be holding a weapon over there. So it should be this one. So I'm going to just be getting to our any montage and I'm going to be getting this non-combat place over here. Now in our sequence player, I am going to be getting this through loop animation and then compile. Should be good now. Now let's get to our base again. For running, I'm going to get run. And yeah, I'm not completely sure if it is, let's say, let's take a look. I don't remember what was the names of these animations. Let's see. We should have animation over here for running or jog. Yeah, it should be to jog forward. So there are quite a few animations for this. Let's see what would be the best one for this. He should be in combat when running towards us. Let's see. Yeah, I think this one is quite good. Let's see if there is something better. Yeah, this one is even better. Yeah, so there are quite a few options. I am not completely sure which one would be the best. I think it's more about a personal choice. I think for me, I am going to be using this one. I like it because quite a lot. This is for downhill. Yeah, let's see. So even though it is downhill, I quite like this one. So I think I'm going to be using this one even though it is down for a downhill. Yeah, I like this one. So let's go to mount anim menu. Let's get jog forward, downhill. Let's see which one would be. I think it is. I think it is this one over here. Let me just confirm this really quickly. Non-combat A. No, that's not it. It is this one over here. Now let's delete that, place over here into our output pulse. Now in this animation, let's get loop animation like that, compile it, should be good. There's still one big problem actually, that's not be able to get from idle into running. So to do that, let's first open this arrow over here, double click that for to open. And then basically what I need to do is to set a condition to make it able to change from one state to the other, and then the other state is going to be a different animation. In this case, it's going to be running if the speed is more than 0. So for that, we need to first create a variable for our speed. This one is going to be a float. Let's compile this. And basically what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be get our speed here, and I'm going to check if this is greater than 0. If it is, then it should transition into running. And then over here, I'm going to get speed again. And if this is less or equal to 0, then it should go into idle. So as you can see over here, this one is to go for running if it is more than 0, and this one is to go from running back to idle if it is less than 0. So please remember, there are 2 arrows over here, not only one like it is over here. It's this 2. So now I have this speed, but I need to update the velocity of our character. So to do that, let's get to our event graph. Over here, I have 2 nodes. The first one is our event blueprint update animation, and then try get pawn owner. From our try get pawn owner, I'm going to get the velocity, and then I'm going to get vector length, like so, and I am going to be setting that speed value. Set over here. Now it should be good. Let's compile this. So now it is updating his velocity and should be able to transition between one animation and the other. If you go back to our BP menu, you're going to notice that he is already in the idle animation. And now I can see a little bit better about our collision. Let's place this in our world. First thing is that I'm going to back to our main map. Should be this one over here, third person map. Over here, I'm going to be placing this enemy that we have created, this one over here, and let's check him out. So as you can see, he is, yeah, it's actually pretty good. The collision is, yeah, I think the collision is pretty good as well. One of the big things about this type of games, actually something that most developers do make in their games, is that there are a few things that you give to your players without really saying about. So this bigger collision box to make your players be able to hit a little bit more your enemies, so that even to, let's say, it is like this, he hits a little bit of over there, he's still going to think that he hits the head and that he is pretty good. And if you're played other games, you probably don't know, maybe you do know about this, but if you don't know, you probably have been triggered by this already. So this is one thing that I think I'm going to be leaving like that. If you don't like this, you can just get into your capsule component and adjust the radius and the rate, so that's a little bit closer. Let's say you could get something like this and make it a little bit closer if you want, but I'm going to be leaving like that. Let's compile it, save it, and the next thing that I need to do to our minion is that I need to get him the ability to walk. For that, I'm going to be create a behavior tree. But before that, let's create a behavior tree first. Let's open the behavior tree folder. Over here, right click. Let's select artificial intelligence and behavior tree. So this one, let's say it is our BT underscore minion. So this is going to be the behavior tree for our minion. Again, we have other videos in the channel explaining how behavior tree works, but I'm going to just be giving a small explanation about this. Behavior trees in Unreal Engine is basically the artificial intelligence for your minions and things like that, but it's not artificial intelligence. It's not actually artificial intelligence. It's just a bunch of ifs and elses. So basically, let's say if a certain condition is met, he is going to make something, a specific action based on that condition and that statement. The more statements you have, the more logic you have for your minions, your enemies, your non-playable characters, the more alive they are going to look like. But still, in Unreal Engine, at least in Unreal Engine, this is not going to be artificial intelligence. It's just, I think the name was not quite updated. So this is just a way to give this behavior, but I just want you to understand that this is not actually artificial intelligence. So you need to be very careful about the statements Actually, it's not about being really careful, but something that really takes time to make it good, make it work. So over here, as you can see, we have a blueprint. It's a little bit different. The first thing that you're going to notice is that we have composites, that's going to be selector, sequencing, and simple parallel. For now, I'm going to be selecting a selector. That's basically going to be selecting our action. So let's say I could have over here, let's say, two sequences like this. Basically, how this works is that in this behavior, it's going to start always on the top, then it goes to the bottom. And then once it is on the bottom, let's say we have something like this, it's going to always go for the action on the left and then to the one on the right. If you are lost, you can see the number of the actions over here. So as you can see over here, the first one is 0, then you get 1, and then 2. If I get this sequence over here, as you can see, the number changes because now this one is 1 and this one is 2. So I'm going to be using this to create our behavior, but for now, just leave it like that. I am going to also be creating a blackboard. So in our BT menu over here, select new blackboard. This one is going to be, let's say, our BTT. Actually, this is going to be our BB underscore menu. I don't need to make anything to blackboard yet. I'm going to be dealing with that later. First thing now, here in our enemy folder, I'm going to right click and I'm going to select blueprint class because I need to create a controller for our minion. But it's not going to be a player controller. Instead, expand this all classes. Then let's get AI controller. Should be seeing this one over here, AI controller. Select that one. This one is going to be our, let's say, our C underscore minion. Let's open this up. Over here in our event begin play, the first thing that I need to do is to select our, to make it run our behavior tree. So over here, let's run behavior. And then I'm going to get our BT minion, like that. So basically this makes the connection to our behavior tree. And then in our BP minion, I am going to get here in class settings, activities in class default. I am going to get this controller. Let's just search for controller, place this minion over there, compile it, save it. So now we have our behavior connected to our minion. Still, if you play this game, it's not going to do anything because we have not created any action yet. But now we are able to create those actions. Now we are going to give the ability for our minion to move. More clearly, is going to move towards our player. So for that, let's get a selector. I'm going to be deleting these sequences over here. And instead, I'm going to just be getting a move to. So as you can see, if I drop this down, you're going to see a few tasks. Basically, you can create tasks in behavior tree, but there are a few that is already made. One of those is move to. I'm going to get this one. And basically what I want to do is to move towards our character. But I need to get a reference for our character. So for that, let's get to Blackboard. Over here, I'm going to be creating a new key. That's going to be our object. This one's going to be our player. Then key type is going to be our base class, is going to be our actor. Save it. Now what I'm going to be doing is that here in our behavior tree, I need to get to make it our Blackboard key to our player. But I need to know who is our player. So I need to set this variable as well. I think the easiest way for this is to, instead of making, some people actually like to make everything in the behavior tree, but then they end up with a very complicated behavioral tree that not even them can really understand everything. So I don't think there's a need to make a task only to set this value. Instead, here in our controller, in the event begin play, I am going to be setting that value. So for that, I'm going to get a reference for our Blackboard. So get Blackboard is going to be this one over here. Then I am going to set value as object. Place it over here. From our key name, I'm going to drag this and type make literate name. Then I'm going to be typing the same value as it was for that variable. So here in our BT menu, in our blackboard, as you can see, it is player. So the same one, it needs to be exactly the same one. And from the object type, I'm going to get player character. And I'm going to be using this reference as the object value. This one's going to be triggered only once. So instead of making an entire task only to set this up, I'm going to be making it in the controller because I think it is a lot easier. So compile it, save it. Now it should be able to move towards our character. I'm not completely sure about the velocity, but it should be able to move. There is one more thing that I need to do to make it able to move. Actually, instead, here in our third person, I need to get a nav mesh. So in our place actors, let's get nav mesh. Nav mesh bounds volume. Place over here. Let's increase this to get out of this that space. Something like that. I'm not going to be really worrying about this because it's only for testing, but that's basically where your minion is able to move to from now on. Now let's see it. Yeah, he is able to run towards our character. I think I'm not going to be wanting him to be that fast. Yeah, I'm going to be decreasing his velocity a bit. So, in our BP minion character movement, let's get max walk speed. I'm not completely sure what would be the right value for this. Let's try with 300. Let's compile it, save it. Let's check this out. Now I think he is just too slow. Yeah, I think he is too slow now. Let's try with maybe 400. Compile it, save it. Let's check this out. Yeah, it's a bit closer to what I want. So I'm going to be leaving like that. I still need to do a few more things. The first thing is that when he gets closer enough, you should check the distance, and if it is closer enough, he should start attacking. But yeah, for now, I'm going to be leaving like that. I need to do other thing that is to actually make our minion able to die and to receive damage. So for that, I am going to be making a damage event. So here in our BP minion, let's get into here. I am going to get event any damage. And then basically what this is going to do is that when he receives damage, is going to be triggering this event. But for now, only for testing, I'm going to get a print string and saying damage, so that I know it is working. And then let's go to our, now I need to get to our, let's see, content should be, I'm not completely sure where I have made it, our arrow. Yeah, so I'm going to get this BP error. And yeah, I have this event hit already created. Sure. So it should be triggering that event if it has this tag enemy. So let's go to our BP minion. Basically what that is doing is that I don't want to trigger this event every time it hits something. So I'm going to be triggering this event only if this event any damage, only if this has this tag of enemy. So basically, I need to create that tag in every enemy that we have. So let's get into class settings, class defaults. Let's search for tag. And then I'm going to be adding a tag. It needs to be the exactly same one as there. So compile it, save it. It is enemy. Let's check if it is the right one. And it is. So now it should be triggering that event, apply damage. And then here in our BP minion, when it hits that trigger that event, it should print a string saying damage. Let's see if this works out. I'm not completely sure if I made it able to receive, to trigger events hits. As you can see in the top left corner, every time it's hitting a new arrow, it is triggering this event damage. Just to be clear, this do once, it's making this makes that this arrow is only be able to do that once. But every time I shoot, it's going to be a new arrow. So I don't need to worry about this, let's say having to reset this, because it needs to be triggered only once, and that's it. I don't want this to be triggered more than once. Now we are going to be making the events of the image and the death one. So for that, we know that this event is being triggered. Now we need to set a life for our minion. To do that, let's create a variable over here. So this variable is going to be our health, and the type is going to be a float. Let's compile this. Let's get this variable over here. And then let's say he has 100 points of health. And then let's get a bit space over here and then here. And then basically what this is going to do is that I'm going to get our health. And then I'm going to be setting our health as well. So I'm going to get our health and I'm going to be subtracting the damage that we just received. And then this value goes over there. So actually let's place this up here like that. Continues his new health. And if this health, let's say if it is less or equal to 0, then it's going to be triggering another event that's going to be his death. So let's get a branch over here. If this is true, then I am going to get another event, and I'm going to be doing this event only once. So let's get a do once here as well, because it's going to have a montage. And actually, yeah, I'm not completely sure about that, because I think I'm going to have two montages actually. I want him to play a montage every time he gets hit. So let's say a hit reaction, and then for his death as well. So let's create it for now. Let's create another custom event for his death, like that. And then over here, I'm going to be calling that event. But you don't need to do anything over there for now. Over here, instead, I'm going to be making another, I think the way that would work out for this is because this could be triggered multiple times. Let's say you have your character and he is pretty late on the game, shooting, let's say, 3 times the velocity, or maybe let's say even 10 times, let's say three to 4 times every second. Then our minion is not going to have time to play this reaction animation before having to play it again, before triggering this event again. So for that, I am going to have to create another branch in our files, and then I am going to be creating a new variable that is can play montage, so that I know when he is able to play montage or not. Then I'm going to get this over here. By default, I am going to be setting this to true by default. And if he can play a montage, then I am going to set this to false on the start, so that's not is going to be blocked over here. And then I am going to play montage like that. The skeleton in mesh is going to be our mesh. Place it over there, and then once it's over, I am going to set this to true again on completed. Yeah, just like that. I need to get his hit reaction now. Let's compile this. I need to make this montage. So let's go to our content drawer. Let's go to Paragon Minions. And then over here, let's get character. Actually, yeah, it is this one over here. Minions. It is down minions in my case. Animation. I am not completely sure which one it is that I'm using right now. Let me take a look. Yeah, let's get over here. It's a little bit easier if I get over here. So it is one. Let's get hit reaction. Let's see which be the best one for our case. Not completely sure about this. Let me just take a look in other thing. I think I have these other ones that actually look good as well. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see if this one has better hit reaction than that one. Yeah, he actually does not have that. let's just leave like that one, and let's like this one. Let's get back into our down menus. I think it is should be this melee over here. Yeah, actually, let's get back over here. So I think I'm going to be using this animation over here every time he gets hit, or maybe this one, or maybe I could use both. No, I think I'm going to use this hit reaction front. So for that, let's get into our folder. So it's going to be this hit react front. I'm going to place, yeah, for now, let's just get a new in our content. I'm going to place this in our content. So let's get content. Actually, I'm going to be copying over there. And then I am going to get into our enemy. And over here, let's right click, create a new folder for our animations. Then let's get to content, get this hit reaction into our animations folder, move it there. Over here now, I'm going to right click and I am going to create a new montage. So this one is going to be hit react montage. Yeah, just like that. Now I'm going to save this and let's go to our BP menu and I'm going to be playing that montage over here. Now should be good. Let's compile this and let's test this out in our game. This playing that montage is not quite right. I'm not completely sure about... Yeah, it's not quite right like I wanted. I don't think he's actually playing the montage anymore. Let's see what is the problem with this. So it should be receiving damage. Yeah, if it is, if his health is less than 0, then should be triggering the death event. For now, let's just get a print string over here so that I know when he's not alive anymore. So let's say that. And just for this test, I'm going to make him have, let's say, 1000 points of health. Like that. Compile it, save it. Let's see. Yeah, he's playing the animation. Pretty good. Yeah, so now his reaction to our attacks. Let me just get a feel about the game. Yeah, it's working quite fine, I think. Let's get to our BP minion. Over here, let's make it 100. And now I need to set his event when our minion is going to be destroyed. So let's get over here, get a branch. First thing that I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to check if he can play a montage. Like that. If it is true, then I'm going to be setting this to false. I don't need to set this to true again if it got into this event. And I think, yeah, for now just leave it like that. But then I'm going to be getting a delay over here. Yeah, I think it would be the best one. Let's say for 0.5. Yeah, let's say with 0.5. And basically what this is going to do is that if our player cannot play a montage, is going to wait a little bit so that he's going to play this event. And then I am going to be changing the value in our animation in our behavior tree now. So for that, I think I'm going to be set a new value, a new variable in our minion that is to know if our minion is alive or not. So let's create this variable. This one is going to be for alive, question mark. Over here, I'm going to set this to false. And I need to do that in our behavior tree as well. So let's go to BP minion. Let's go to Blackboard. Let's create a new Boolean value. This one is going to be for alive. And then in our BP minion, I am going to, let's see, I think I'm going to have to get the controller. So in our controller, I could just get a Blackboard, but since we are in our menu, I need to get the controller first, then get Blackboard, like that. And then I am going to set value as bool, like that. Again, let's get from our key name, let's get make literary name. The name is going to be, let's see, alive, yeah. So it needs to be the same one. This one is going to be set to false. Before I forget, I need to make the same thing over here in our event begin play. So let's go to our controller and you set that variable to true. Again, you could make a task to set this variable, but I think it's a lot easier since this is going to be playing only once to set this in the event begin play of your controller. So I'm going to just be copying this. Yeah, actually I can't copy this. I'm going to just get the blackboard over here and I'm going to set value as bool. I can't copy it because this is for object and this one is for bool. Then make literary name. It's going to be for alive. And then over here I'm going to make true. Compile it, save it. Now let's go back to our BP minimum. Here I'm going to set this to false. Let's get this a bit down over here. And I didn't want to affect this one. Then what I'm going to be doing is that I want to play a montage like that. For our skeletal mesh component, get our mesh into here. And then I still need to create the montage. So, but then after this, once it's completed, I'm going to get another delay, small delay this time, of let's say, yeah, not that I think about, once it's completed, he would be getting up. I'm not completely sure about that, but leave it like that for now. But I'm probably going to have to change it to here and to get the right value for how long that animation is. And then I'm going to destroy her. I gave a little bit of a look in other meshes that could be used for this minion. And I actually found one that is a lot better than the one that I'm using right now for the animations. So I decided to change that. It's not going to take a lot of work. I'm going to be doing that. So here in our content drawer, I am going to get Paragon's minions, and I'm going to just be typing just to search for this. That's going to be our minion underscore lane underscore super underscore down. So I'm going to be using this one over here. I think it would be fitting quite a lot better for the purpose of this video. So I'm going to be using this one. So here in our BP menu, I'm going to select the mesh. Again, you don't need to do that if you don't want. I just think that would look a lot better if I do this. So just make it like that in our viewport. Yeah, the collision needs to change now, but don't worry about that right now. Compile it, save it. I need to change the animations as well. So let's go to our anim montage. And I actually need to remake the anim montage. I'm going to make it really quickly so that doesn't take that long to do. So let's go back to our content drawer. Let's go to enemies, animation. So right now, let me just see which one is, yes, it's not this one. Let's get that one over here so that I can get the right skeleton for this. So this is the skeleton I'm going to be using. And now let's go to our enemy over here in animation. Actually, it is over here. So let's right click, let's get to animation. Then let's get where it is, animation blueprint. Then I'm going to be selecting this one over here, that is SK minion, should be this one, lane super, this one over here. Then hit create, just like that. So this one's going to be our anim minion. Let's rename it to minion 2 for now, and I'm going to be changing it later. So I'm going to just make it really quickly, just as before. I'm going to get the state machine over here, get up here. Then I am going to get slot, default slot. And then I am going to place this over here and then into here. Our state machine, I'm going to rename it to base, like that. Open this up. Here I'm going to be adding a state. That's going to be for idle, just like we done before. And then another one for walk. This is more for running. So just rename it to running. This into idle, and then to running, and then for running back to idle. Open this idle one. Let's search for idle. Let's get what would be the idle image for this. I'm not completely sure. Let me take a look. I'm going to be closing this because I'm not going to be using this anymore. So I have this one, and let's see. Yeah, so it's going to be this one over here. So I'm going to just be getting our idle animation, place over here. Then I'm going to make it to loop animation, compile it. Now let's get into running. Then I am going to get, let's say it should be jog forward. Not sure which one would be. Um, yeah, let's open this up. I don't really know. Let's see what are the options. Have this one, and non-combat. I think this one looks better, so I'm going to be using this one. So just drag this, place over here, and then make it to loop as well, loop animation. Compile it, save it. Now let's go back to our base. Again, let's go into from idle to running, open this arrow. Let's create that variable that is for speed. Make it a float. Place it over here. Let's see if this is greater or equal to 0, and if it is not, it's going to transition. Actually, if it is true, then it's going to transition. Then over here, speed. And if this is less or equal to 0, then it's going to transition. Actually, just notice that I made a mistake. This should not be a greater or equal, should be only a greater. Like that. Compile it, save it. And yeah, it should be good. Yeah, just one more thing. Let's get into our event graph. Over here, let's get velocity. And then from this vector, I'm going to get vector length. I actually don't remember. I think it was vector length. Yeah, vector length like this. Then I am going to just be setting our speed. Just like that. Actually, let's just confirm that this, yeah, I'm using the same one vector length at this over here. It's going to be using over here. Compile everything, save it, and it should be good. Everything should be working fine. I think the collision might need to be changed, but as you can see, I have this one. Yeah, it is quite small, but I don't want him to be big. But yeah, there is something wrong with it. Let's see if it's just a matter of the collision box. No, he actually he is like that. He's quite big and has tiny legs. So that's basically the character itself. So, about the collision, I am going to be change the capsule component a bit. Let's say increase the capsule radius to 50. Yeah, I think that should be good. I am just not sure about his legs. Let's increase this a bit. Yeah, a bit more. Let's compile it, save it. Now let's take a look. Yes, a lot better. I need to change the animation montage so that I have the right animations for him. Let's do that right now. So, to do that, let's go into our BP minion over here, our event graph. I have these animation montages, but before that, I am actually, did I change the animation for our BP minion? Let me take a look. I actually don't remember if I did or not. Class defaults, menu name, anim montage. Yeah, I did not. Let's get to the right one, compile it, save it. Let's take a look now. Yeah, now it is a lot better. I was thinking it was a little bit strange for this one to be like that. Let's take a look how it looks in with our capsule component. Yeah, now our capsule component it's a bit smaller than I would hope to be. So I'm going to be increasing his capsule component a bit. Let's say this one to something like 120, and actually, you know what? I'm going to be decreasing the scale of this a bit. Let's say I don't want it to be that big because this should be a minion. So let's try with 0.8, 0.8, and 0.8. Yeah, Something like this should be a lot better, but I'm going to be increasing the radius. Let's see, with 60. Yeah, it looks quite good. And yeah, I think it looks quite good. Actually, I think I'm going to be leaving like this. Let me just take a look how it looks above ground. Yeah, it looks like he's floating a bit. So let me fix that. Let's get our character, and I'm going to be placing it down just a bit. And yeah, that should fix it. Let's see now. Yeah, that fixes. Yeah, that's a lot better, but now I need to change his animation montages. So let's go to, yeah, there's a lot of things opening right now. Let's close a few. Yeah, I'm going to have to use that skeleton to get the socket as well. I forgot about this. So let's get towards this one. Let's get the skeleton over here. So in our BP menu, in the event grab, I should, yeah, sorry about that. I don't need the sockets. I have not added anything over here that's using socket. I was thinking about our character itself. So there's no need to worry about that. Let's just close the skeleton. I am not going to be using this for now. Let's close the animation montages. This one I might use later. Not using. Yeah, this one I'm going to be deleting. So let's get to our content drawer now. This animation, first thing, save everything. Should not be using anywhere now. Let's just delete. Force delete. Now let's rename this to minion 1, like that. And I'm going to be dragging this and place on animations. I'm going ahead and I'm also going to be deleting this hit hatch. Just delete that. Yeah, I'm using right now in a few places. So I'm going to just be getting none here, and yeah, there is none yet. Compile it. Now save it as well. Now I should be able to delete without any problem. First delete. Now let's get to our Paragon. Let's see. Let's get into our Paragon minions. And yeah, I could get from here. So basically what I want now is a hit hack just like we had before. So I was thinking maybe something like this. Let's see. I think this one would be the best one. So I'm going to just be browsing to assets, and I am going to be placing that on our animations, enemy animations. I'm not going to be copying, I'm going to be moving it here because there's no need to copy that. So, and then from this, actually just go ahead and I'm going to get one for our depth animation as well. So let's just search something like that. Let's see. So I was thinking there are quite a few good ones that I could use. It's up to you to choose which one you want to use, or if you want to use every kind of depth animation that there is. It's up to you. I think I'm going to be using this one. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to be using this one. I quite like this one, so I'm going to be using this one. Let's browse to asset as well. And I'm going to be leaving this. Let's get to animations. And I'm going to be leaving this in our enemies and then animations. Move it there, just like so. So now I have these two animations. I'm going to be selecting both, and I'm going to just right click, and then I'm going to create, and then create a new montage. Now from our depth front montage and our hit hacked front, I'm going to just be renaming this. So let's just rename this one is our depth underscore montage. And this one, right click, let's say hit hacked underscore montage, like so. And let's get to our BP minion. Over here, I'm going to just be replacing those montages. So the first one is for our hit hacked. That's going to be over here. And I have not created one for our depth animation, but now there is one. Just place it here. Should be good now. Should be without any problem. Let me take a look. Yeah, it should be good. Compile, save it. Now it should be back on track. Let's take a look now. Yeah, it's a lot better. I think it is pushing him just too far away. Yeah, I was thinking that maybe when he dies, would take. Yeah, it got out of the animation before destroying the actor. I could just destroy it right away, but I don't think that would be fixing it. I would need to either add a new modifier or maybe to just add a specific delay with the specific time. I think it would be better to just add a delay instead of a new modifier. Even though the best option for this, yeah, actually, let's just see if this would work out. If you just uncompleted it destroy the actor, but I don't think it's going to work out. Let's see. Yeah, he has quite a lot of health. I'm going to make a widget so that I can see. Yeah, as you can see, it got up before destroying the actor. So I could create an image, notify, and I'm going to be showing how you can create an image notifiers later. You could use this over here. The thing is, sometimes just play things simple because as you may notice in roguelike games, you're going to have a lot of actors. And games is going to be maybe dozens of actors in the screen of your player. So you need to be aware that some of these functions is going to take cost on performances, and sometimes you could just play something a little bit simpler that would work out best. So yeah, an modifier could work out here, but I think I could set a specific delay for this with a specific time so that it destroys the actor just before playing this montage. And I think that would cost less performance than create an modifier. So let's do that on completed. Let's get a delay and then into here. Let me just get a small look over here. So I think I'm going to, yeah, I don't know how long this takes. I think it should something like 2.5 seconds should be good, but I might need to check this later. Yeah, let's get this. Yeah, so this would not be uncompleted, so about that. It would be on. So basically what it's going to do is that it's going to get the animation and right away it's going to get to this function, but it should get enough time so that plays the animation before destroying the actor. Let's take a look. Actually, before that, I'm going to be decreasing the health of our minion, so that's a little bit easier to kill him. Now let's check this out. Let's go to our player. I'm actually going to be decreasing first his health. I think it's taking quite a lot to kill him, and since this is only for testing, I'm going to give him 50 points of health. So that should be 2 hits to kill this minion. Let's check this out. 1, 2. He dies, and yeah, 2.5 seconds is not enough. There is another problem that he's still walking towards us while playing that animation. I'm going to be making a new variable so that he's not able to walk while playing this animation, while dying actually. But first thing I need to set this time right. Let's try with maybe 1.8 seconds. Compile it, save it. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I couldn't see. Yeah, but just leave it like that for now. Actually, let's just give it 2 seconds. And now, one thing that you may have noticed is that once I kill this enemy, when he's playing his death animation, he's still walking towards us, just like that, following us. Yeah, 2 seconds is too much. Let's go back to 1.8. So this is a problem. Of course, we need to fix that. How we can fix that? Basically, here in his behavior tree, for now we have this move to player, but you don't have any statement for that. What you could do is to add a statement that would check if his actor can move towards our player, and then while playing other animations, I would set that variable off, so that will not be triggering this event, this task. So for that, let's get to Blackboard, and I'm going to be, or I could use alive. Yeah, we already have one variable to know when our minion dies. That is this one. But I'm going yeah, this one over here, alive, and is being set off. I could use that for this case. The thing is, and I think I'm actually going to be setting this with alive as well, but it's going to fix the problem for now. But later on, I'm going to have to create a new variable because our enemy is going to be attacking and things like that, and I don't want him to be able to move while doing those animations. So for now, let's just use alive. So here in our selector, I'm going to right click, add a decorator, and then a blackboard. The blackboard is going to be alive, and it needs to be set to move towards it. I think there is just one more thing. I'm not sure if I am setting this to true. Yeah, I am. At the start of the game, it's going to be set to true. Now let's see. So basically, what's going to happen now is that since it's going to be moving towards our player, but when this character dies, that's going to be over here when this is set to false. It should stop moving. Let's see if this works out. So about that, my aim is not the best one. I'm going to make a widget so that I can see where I am shooting at. And it was still moving towards our character. Two things actually got a bit wrong. I was not going to be using selector for long, and I forgot to actually place another one over here, so it's not going to be able to abort. Instead, I'll do something like this. So just for now, just get another selector and should be good. I actually forgot to make this to abort when it's playing this task already. So I'm going to just be getting this down here, and then from this several aborts, I'm going to abort both. Like that, save it, and now should be working fine. At least if I am able to hit our minion. And for some reason now he's not dying. Yeah, I'm not completely sure what happened. Let me take a look. Yeah, it's not using this destroy actor, but it should get into here. Let me see again if we can replicate this issue. Yeah, for some reason is not losing health, maybe. That's strange, it was working a few seconds ago. Let me see if it is getting in the event any damage. So yeah, it is getting the event any damage because I can see his reaction is just not changing for some reason. Let me see, maybe I change his health and that somehow made, let's see if it gets into this event over here. Let's just take a quick look. So I got into this event. Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot about this one. So in this delay, I'm actually, once this delay is done, I'm going to get into here as well. Sorry about that. Compile it, save it, and now should be good. Let's see, yeah, let's remove that stop node. So now is stop moving. 1.8 seconds is. Yeah, I forgot that I need to destroy the sector as well. So this is working now. Now it stops moving and should be destroyed at the end. Let's see. It dies, gets into the ground, and then disappears from our game. And then now it's not taking any performance from our game as well because it's not going to be loaded anymore. Of course, you're going to have a spawn system that's going to be creating even more enemies as further you go on the game. There are more for this event that I'm going to be adding experience, but that's not for now. Now I need to add the ability for our minion to attack back. So for that, let's get into our BT minion, in our behavior tree for our minion, and I'm going to be changing this a bit. Basically what I'm going to be doing is that I want to be moving towards our player, but while moving towards our player, I want to be checking the distance to see if it gets, let's say, closer enough to start attacking. That's going to be another set of sequences for this. So basically what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be deleting this selector, and I am going to get a simple parallel. So that's basically what's going to be doing, is that while it's running this task, it's going to be running another task that I'm going to be creating over here. And then that should change a few statements, and then should get into another sequence that's going to have a few attacks. And it's going to be keeping checking the distance to see if it should start chasing back over and over again. So that's basically it. Into this simple parallel, I'm going to be adding blackboards. The first one is going to be, just as before, it's going to be to check if our minion is alive or not. Should be set and should be able to abort both, like so. And now I need to create that task, but I don't have that task yet. So that's mainly what I'm going to be doing now. I'm going to be creating a new task. For that, let's just hit new task. This one is going to be a BTT task. Let's say check distance and then save. Now over here, I'm going to overwrite receive execute AI. Just so that I don't forget, I'm going to get finish execute as well and make it a success, so that I don't forget this at the end. Now let's get a bit of space over here and then here. First thing that I'm going to be doing is to, from our controller pawn, I'm going to get distance 2. And then from the other actor, I'm going to get player character. So is that I'm going to be able to see how big is the distance between our minion and the player. So this is something that then I'm going to get less or equal. And about this value, this is mainly going to be deciding how distance it can be from your player to start attacking. That can change from enemy to enemy. It's something that is not going to be fixed. Let's say you have a flying enemy that can attack from far away. Then this distance is going to be a lot higher than it's going to be right now. But let's say in this case that is a melee attack, it needs to be very close. But sometimes maybe we have an enemy that even though it is attacking with a sword or something like that, it still have a better range. So this is going to change quite a lot. You need to see what is the best value for you, for the minion that you are, the enemy that you are using, and the set of animations that you have. In my case, I know that 130 should be good, so I'm going to be using that number, and then I'm going to get a branch for this, placing it over here. Actually, don't need this finish for now. I'm going to just be leaving here so that I don't forget this. One thing about doing tasks is that a lot of times you're actually going to be stuck in a specific task in the behavior tree, and the main reason is just that you forgot to place the finish execute. That happens a lot. So for that reason, it's always good to, when you decide to create an event, to also get the finish execute, so that you don't forget to place this at the end. And then now I'm going to get from our owner controller, I'm going to get blackboard, should be this one. And then for our blackboard, I said before that I would need to be able to set few other variable to see that's not going to be only about our enemy to be alive or not, to be able to play certain montages, to be able to move, because when he's attacking, I don't want him to be able to move. So for that, in our BT minion, I am going into our blackboard and I need to create a new key for this. So let's hit create a new key. This one is going to also be a bool that's mainly to check if our enemy can move or not. So can move like that. Now with this can move variable, I'm going to go back to our BT task, and over here I'm going to set value as bool. And then I am going to get to make literal name, and then I am going to get that specific name. Just remember that it needs to be the exact same name as we have over here, because if you change anything over here, it's not going to work out. And then for true, I am going to make this into false. So that's not able to move, it is closer enough to attack. And if it is false, it's going to set this to true. So that function works both ways. So just make it over here so that I can use these functions in two places at the same time. And I don't need this one. I could just place a root node over here and then get from this one. So this one make it to true. And then both should go to our finish execute and then make it as success as well. So that should be good. Compile it, save it. Now in our BP minion, I am going to our behavior tree again. And then over here, I am going to do two things. The first one is that I'm going to add a new decorator, a new blackboard that is for can move and needs to be set as well. And then I am going to get our BT task check distance. And actually I'm going to be renaming this BT task enemy behavior tree. Let's get over there. Let's rename this. I just want the BTTT. I don't need this task over here. Let's remove it like so. Let's save it, and yeah, it's not updating it. Let's get again BTT check distance. Yeah, just like so. So that should be working fine. So that's basically going to be playing multiple times. You could loop this as well, but since it is playing over here, there is no need for it. That should be working fine. And anytime, yeah, just one more thing, this can move into observable, should abort for both. Yeah, now it should work out. So basically what's going to do is that once it gets closer enough to our player, this thing is going to be set to false, and that's basically going to abort everything over here, and then our minion should get stuck. Let's see if this works out. And it's not even moving because I forgot to set that to true. So in our controller, minion, I am going to get this over here, copy and paste over here into start. Then I am going to just get and move. Just like that. Compiler, was that the right name? Let me check. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is right name. So now let's get back over there. So it should be able to move, but if it gets closer enough, it's going to just stop. So it should get stuck there because I didn't make anything else to get it to be able to move again. So it's not checking the distance again. But let's say if I just get here in our BP minion behavior tree, I could just get this check distance again. And now if I get far away, it should start following me again, as you can see. So I'm going to be playing that as well, but now basically what I'm going to be doing is that I need to create the attack for our enemy. So basically this is one of the major things that you can use in behavioral trees. As you can see, I have just made one task, but I can place it in multiple places and it still is going to work out because this one is going to both for true and both for false. So now I need to create another task for the attack. For that, I am actually going to just create a new task over here, BT task blueprint base. So this one is going to be our BTT attack. And for now, just leave like that. And then here in this sequence, I'm going to get BTT attack. And then I am going to get a small delay. So just wait. It's not going to be 5 seconds, something like 1 second should be good between one attack and the other, and between checking the distance as well. So let's get this a little bit to our right, our left actually, this to our right. And just remember this one, even though there are still in the same level in up or down, because this one is on the left, this thing is going to be playing first before this one. But I'm still going to be making statements over here because it's all good to have statements for everything that you do in behavioral trees to avoid mistakes. So let's add a decorator, a blackboard, and this is actually going to be, actually I could just delete this and just copy those over here, this one, and then place over here. And then basically it needs to be alive but our can move needs to not be true. So I'm going to make it here in our can move. I'm going to make it's not set like that, and should be able to abort. So if it can move, should abort this one and then goes back into here, and then should stop attacking our player. That's mainly it. So this task gives the way that our minion can go away from this set of tasks into this one, and this one gives the way to go away from this one back to this one. That's basically it. But I still need to create our attack. So over here in this task, I am going to get override, receive execute AI, just as before, get our finish execute here as well, make it a success. And this one is going to be quite simple because I am going to be using an interface. You could set this using a cast, and at the start it would not take that much of performance from your game. But the thing is that this is a game that could have, as I said before, dozens of enemies for your player to fight. So even though there are only a cast for every attack that should happen, let's say once every 1 or 2 seconds, or still when you have dozens of enemies, it could become a problem. So for that reason, things like this should be set using an interface. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. In order to create our interface, we need to go first to our content drawer, and then over here in behavior tree, actually I'm going back into our enemy folder. Over here I'm going to right click, and I'm going to be selecting, actually should be in blueprint over here, blueprint interface. I'm going to be selecting this one over here. So this interface is going to be for our enemy logic. The only event that I'm going to be creating right now for our enemy is an attack event. So I'm going to rename this function. So our basic attack. There's no need for input or output. Just compile it and leave it like that. Now let's go to our BTT attack. Over here, I'm going into class settings. Let me just drag this. And here in implemented interfaces, I am going to be selecting this new interface that we have just created. So it should be interface underscore enemy. This one over here. So now I have this attack event. I'm not going to be getting the event. Actually, the thing that I'm going to be getting is I'm going to be getting a message from this. So just right click. Let's search for attack. And as you can see, I am not able to see the attack message. So for that, I'm going to be disable context sensitive. And now I should be able to see it, but I need to look for it. So over here, interface enemy attack message. So I'm going to be getting this one. I'm going to get our controller pawn as the target for this event, and then into here, and then into finish execute. That's basically it for this task, because I'm going to be creating the lodge inside our enemy itself, and for this I'm going to also be using a notifier. So now let's go to our BP minion. Over here into class settings, I need to add that interface as well. So let's do that in implemented interfaces. So let's just search for interface underscore enemy. Now over here, I'm going to be selecting the event. You can either look for it, or you could just get it from here in the interface attack. Before that, let me just organize this a bit. So this is the event of damage. So let's just make a comment over here for it, damage, and let's show bubble like that. I'm not going to be using this right now, so I'm going to just be deleting it. And this event is for the end of our minion. So let's just say that, like that, and then show bubble. That's basically it, what I have created so far. Now we need to create the ability for him to be able to attack. For that, in the event attack, I need to first check a few things before going forward. I first need to check if our minion is alive or not. And for that, I'm going to be using a branch. So I'm going to get this alive variable. And I also need to be able to see if he's able to play a montage or not. Let's say if he got attacked and he's playing this montage over here, he should not be able to attack. So for that, I'm going to be using this just two booleans. So for that, let's just search for end boolean. and then I am going to get this one together here and then into this branch. So both of these need to be true to be able to go forward in this function. And then once he gets into here, he's going to be attacking, so I don't want him to be able to play a montage. So I'm going to be setting over here, just like that. And then I am going to play montage. Play montage like that. The skeletal mesh component is going to be our mesh. And at the end, I also want him to be able to play montage again. So I'm just going to be set this on completed back to true. Just like so. He's going to be dealing damage, but for that, I'm going to be doing that in using an anim notifier. So for now, I just need to get a montage to play for this. In order to find the best montage for this, I think I'm going to just be searching it over here. So let's search for animation that would suit us. So we have this attack. We have quite a few actually. I don't know which one to use. This one looks great. Yeah, Dusk is going from... I think the B one should be the best one for me. Let's take a look. This one's good as well. So yeah, it doesn't really matter which one you select. I think for me, I'm going to be using the attack B. You can also create combos if you want, but I think I'm going to be making it simple and I'm going to be getting this attack B. So for that, let's just get into here. Second, set details. Let's get to the folder where I have our minion, Paragon minions, character, minions, down minions, should be animations, super, and then over here I'm going to be using this attack B. So I'm going to just be dragging this attack B and place inside our animations. Move it there. Now over here, I'm going to right click and I am going to create an anim montage, just like we did with the other ones. So this one is going to be our main attack montage, like that. Now let's go to our BP minion, and over here I'm going to be placing that montage over there. So now he should be playing that montage, and once it's done, let's go back to our BT task. It should finish execute, and then here it should wait 1 second and then check distance again. And then if it is not close enough, it's going to start running towards our player again till it's able to attack once more. So let's test this out and see if it is working. I should not receive any damage, but just test this if it is working. And it is not. For some reason it's not. Let's see what's the problem. So we have our... should get to here to attack. Should wait and don't should check distance. The attack should get into our BP minion. Over here, it should have this as... it's not alive by default. Was that the problem? It was not alive by default. Let's see. Compile it, save it. Let's try again. Yeah, that was the problem. It's just not alive by default. So as you can see, he's attacking me. And if I go away, he's going to start chasing me again. But if I get close enough, he's going to start attacking. There is going to be a small delay between one attack and the other. You can decrease that value if you want. Let's say right now it is 1 second. I could just make this something like 0.7. I think it would be a little bit better. Let's take a look. So this is our minion. Yeah, it's working pretty good. In order to get the damage, the first thing that I actually need to do before dealing with the damage itself, actually, let's create the notifier right now, and then later I'm going to be creating a widget for a few things, including health, because our player does not have any health yet. So for that, let's get to content drawer, then get into enemy. Over here, I'm going to get into blueprint class, and I'm going to select notify. And then I'm going to be select anim notify, and then hit select. So this one is going to be notify attack. Now let's go. It is up. Then over here, I am going to override. Should be receive notify. So I'm going to be overriding this. This part may be a little bit strange at first, but just think that this is an object that I'm going to be placing inside the montage. So, and then it's even though you don't have this logic inside our BP menu, since I have this montage and this montage is going to have this logic, then it's going to still work out for us. So, with receive notify, I'm going to first let me just get a bit more space over here. I'm going to actually be breaking this link. I have a bit of space. I just can't forget to place this at the end. And then from our mesh component, I'm going to get a sphere trace for objects. Yeah, so it's not giving me the option for it. So instead, I'm going to just get socket location. And then I am going to get socket location once again, because the way that I am thinking about this is that I need to extend the sort of our menu. And so basically there's going to be a place between the start of the sort and the end of the sort that's going to be dealing damage. I don't want any collision, any hit with the menu to be able to deal damage, only against the sword. So I'm going to be basically creating 2 sockets in our weapon. At least that's how I am thinking about doing this right now. And then actually let's go to that right now and see how it looks. So here in our BP menu, I have this attack over here, and let's see. This is going to be his left arm. So basically what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be creating a socket over here and then one at the end, and it's going to be attached. That's basically it. So let's see which one is using over there. Let's see if he has something about the sword. Not, he has not. Root, pelvis, let me take a look. Weapon, he has this one for the weapon. Maybe I could create a socket over here. Yeah, I could actually use this one. I don't need to create anyone for this weapon over there. But for the end, yeah, I need to make one for the end as well. So I am going to be creating a socket over here, add virtual bone, not a virtual bone, I'm going to be adding a socket. So this weapon socket, I'm going to rename it something like, let's say, end underscore weapon underscore like that. And then I need to move it now. So let's move it to where I want it to be placed. Should be over, yeah, 1 second. Should be around here. Yeah, this is always a bit trickier. 1 second. And yeah, let's see. I think that's a little bit something like this. Should be good. Yeah, to make this actually perfect, it's going to take a little bit of time, and I'm not going to be doing that. I just want to see if now it is falling. Yeah, it is falling our sword, our weapon. So basically what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be getting this bone and this socket over here to create a sphere trace for objects that's going to be detecting collision in our anim notifier. So for that, first thing is that I need to get this bone name. So I'm going to just be copying select bone names for this one. Let's go back to our notify, place this as the first one, then go back there. Let's do the same thing with this one. Let's just copy select socket, this one, and place it as the second one. Yeah, I made some mistake. Rename socket, let's copy this, place it over here. Yeah, now I need, yeah, just like that. Now I have these 2 sockets, so I'm going to be getting sphere trace for objects, and then I'm going to be placing this as the start and this one as the end. About the radius, I'm not completely sure about the radius. Let's leave it something like 25 and should be good. About the object types, I'm going to drag this here and type make array. And then I am going to be selecting a bound for this. And should be good. I'm going to be drawing the book type just to know if it is working or not. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this part. Then if it hits something, I'm going to get first thing I need to know if it has hit something to just get a branch before going forward. Then from this out hit, let's just get this down. From this out hit, I'm going to break it, read results. Then I could either add a tag to make it not hit other enemies. And now that I think about it, it would be good to add a tag. Yeah, so from our hit actor, I'm going to see if it has tag. So I'm not going to be placing this in the same branch as this one because I don't want to be checking it, because if it has not hit anything, it's going to give a error. So instead, let's just get another branch over here. The tag is going to be for player. Let's go to our player. I don't have it open. Yeah, I need to open a player. So I'm going to be closing a few tabs that I'm not going to be using right now. Check distance, not going to be using anymore. Interface not going to be using for now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get to our player. So Paragon Sparrow, characters, heroes, Sparrow. Let's open our Sparrow player. Over here into class defaults, I am going to search for a tag. And I'm going to be adding a new tag that's going to be player. Compile it, save it. Let's go back to our notify. So if it has this tag, then I am going to apply damage for this actor. That way it's not going to be applying damage for other minions in the world. So let's get this hit actor as the damage actor, like so. About the base damage, I don't know what would be good. Let's say our player has something like 100 points of health, and it hits at least at the start, it's going to give 10 points of health, and then return notes. That's pretty much it. Should be working fine. So I am drawing the book type for duration over here. I'm going to just be noticing if it is hitting something or not. Let's see. Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot to place this in our montage. So let's do that right now. Let's go into our enemy animations. We have this main attack montage. So right now I need to know when I want this to be able to do damage. So where at this animation I should be able to damage against our player. It is here, or it is here. I think the best place would be just at the start of the swing, something like over here. So for that, I am going to get a notify over here, add notify, and then I'm going to be adding the one that I have just created, notify attack. I was adding our notify attack into our menu and just noticed that I just made a normal notify and then in the notify state. So instead, let's just delete that, save it, and let's go back to our content drawer. Over here, I have this notify attack. Don't worry, this is going to be pretty easy to do. So just right click, let's get to blueprint class. This time, let's get a name notify state. So let's just get a name notify state. I'm going to be selecting this. Let's just say notify underscore attack 2. And basically what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to just be opening this and I'm going to write receive notify tick, this one over here. And then I am going to just be copying that whole function from there. So let's just get our notify over here. Let's just copy everything from here, place here, like that. And then place this at the end. Let's just connect our return node over there. And then this at the start together with our mesh component for here and then here. And that should be pretty much it. I got a error for some reason. Let's see what is the problem. Compile error. Must have a connection. Word context object must have a connection. Yeah, sorry about that. Our mesh component here as well. I was forgetting about this. Now should be good. Compile it, save it. Now, basically, the main difference between one and the other is that right now we are not going to have as notify for a specific moment, but it's going to be a set of moments where he's able to deal damage. So now let's close this other notify, save this, and I can also delete this notify attack, the first one. Just delete that. I'm going to rename this so that doesn't have the number 2 now. And then let's go to our main montage. Over here now, let's right click inside notify and let's add a notify state. This one should be a notify attack. And now I can place at the start where I want it to be. That's going to be over here. And then at the end, that I think should be over here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So now as you can see, it's going to play this quite a lot, and at this moment, if it collides with our player, it's going to do damage. So, but it's going to be doing damage only once, that's mainly it, but actually it's going to be doing damage multiple times because that event is going to be activated multiple times. But I'm going to set a small time for immunity, don't worry about that. This kind of things like immunity, there are things that you give to your players without really saying to them, just because if you don't do certain things like that, just die becomes really easy. So again, sometimes you need to give him some kind of illusion that he is better than he actually is. So let's go to our third person now. I should be able to see that if it is hitting me. Yeah, as you can see, the green ones basically saying that it's able to hit me, it's colliding with me, and yeah, that's mainly it. It is working fine. But I am not activating that event of damage inside our player because I don't have any health yet. Let's do that right now. So I'm going to be closing a few tabs. I don't need the main attack anymore. Our notify attack, I don't need that as well. Don't need animations for now. RBP minion. So here I'm going to make just comment over here. This is going to be our attack. Show bubble. Like that. Our arrow I'm not going to be using right now. PTT attack as not as well. So I end our minion. Just leave it there for now. But now I need to create a way so that our player loses health. But it does not it has any health yet. So let's do that. I'm going to be creating two variables for our health. The first one is going to be current underscore health. And then the next, just change the type to float. And the next one is going to be max underscore health. Compile it, save it. So basically our max health, let's say it is 100 points. And by default, our current health is also 100. Compile it, save it. So basically what I need to do now is that I'm going to get the event any damage. So just get any damage over here. And this event should be triggered over there. I'm going to be creating another variable for the times of immunity. So let's add a new variable. And this is going to be immunity question mark. Is going to be a Boolean type. The first thing that I'm going to be doing in the event any damage is to see if our player has immunity. By default, it's going to be false. If it is false, then it's going to receive damage. Actually, just make this a little bit easier. I'm going to get another boolean, so that is going to be on the event true. So like that. So if he has not immunity in the case of true, then he's going to receive damage. The first thing that I'm going to be doing is to actually set immunity for our player during this time. So let's just say set immunity to true, so that this is not going to be triggered multiple times. And then actually this one is going to be triggered multiple times, but this part is not, because I'm going to be setting here to true. Then I am going to just get his current health, and I'm going to be subtracting. Let's just get this up here, and I'm going to set his current health, set it over here for this new value over here. Let me just get a bit of space here and then here. So get our damage into here, get a root node down here, like so. And basically if he is going to be placed his immunity, he's going to decrease his health. Then I'm going to get another branch just to see if his current health is less or equal to 0. If it is less or equal to 0, then I'm going to get a branch. If it is less, then it should be triggering event for that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be creating the end game for this game, but I'm going to be leaving events created over here for his end game. So let's just get custom event. So the main reason is because this is just a normal event and I don't want to lose time with that. So instead, I'm going to just be leaving this event over here for his end. If this is true, then it should get that event. If it is not, then it's going to have a small delay of, let's say, 0.2 seconds. That's going to be the time where he has immunity. Then the immunity is going to be set again to false, like so that this event can be triggered multiple times. So let's just check how many times this event is going to be triggered by simply getting this into here and then getting a print string so that I know how many times it got to there. So let's say receive it damage. Should be only once by attack for attack. So let's see. Only one, receive damage, only one again. So it's working pretty well. And yeah, that's working pretty well. So now I need to create a widget so that I know how much health our player has. And I'm also going to be placing a small point on the center of the screen so that I know where I'm shooting at. I have a really bad aim and that would help me a lot. So that's mainly for our event and damaging our player. Let's just place a comment over here. Let's say damage, receive damage. Let's get show bubble over here, just like that. Compile, save it. To create our widget, let's go to our content drawer. Over here, you're going to notice that in the content, I have another file that's basically going to be the aim icon that I'm going to be using. And just so that you know, this is just a simple image that I made on Paint, just a circle with a black dot on the middle. That's basically it. So I'm going to be using this to use as our pointer in our widget. So for that, here in our content, I'm going to right click and I'm going to be creating a new folder for our widget. Let's open this up. Over here, I'm going to right click and I am going into blueprint. Actually, it's not blueprint, it should be user interface, which blueprint. I'm going to be selecting user widget and this one is going to be our y_main. Open this up. Over here, I have a palette. I'm going to search for the canvas and then I'm going to drag this canvas pane into here. Then the first thing that I need to do is to set our health. So actually, before that, let's just get the image. And for our pointer, I'm going to be placing this in the middle. So for that, let's just get the anchor for the middle and then the position for 0 and then 0. The image, I am going to get our brush over here and then I'm going to be selecting that thing that I just imported. I'm going to be dragging this to our widgets folder. Over here, I'm going to drag this into here. Yeah, that's basically it. Now I can adjust as much as I want. I want something like, I don't want it to be big, just so that I know where I am aiming at. Something like this, a little bit up there. Second. You know what, that should be looking fine. So this is just so that I know where I am aiming at. To see that in our game, I need to go to our Sparrow Polygon player character. Over here, into the event begin play, after the add mapping context, I'm going to create widget. And the widget is going to be the one that we have just made, our y_main. Then I am going to also be promoting this to a variable because I'm going to need to set our, let's rename this, I'm going to need to set the value for our health and be updating this. So for that reason, I need to get a variable, turn this into a variable so that I can get a reference for this widget. So I just make this y_main. And then I'm going to add this to report. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this part. So now we should be able to see that widget in your game. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a lot better now. As you can see, it is in front of our character. I think I'm going to make our camera a little bit over our character so that does not bother me. So get our camera boom, maybe something like here. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's good for me. One more thing that before I forget, I'm going to just make this a little bit over there. Let's take a look again. Yeah, now it was too much. A little bit less. Leave it here. Could move the inclination a bit, but I actually don't want. I like it like this. So that's pretty much it for our aim. Now I need to add health here as well. So for that, I'm going to search a progress bar, and I'm going to be placed inside our canvas panel. This one is going to be our progress bar for health. And then over here, yeah, basically I'm going to need to set a function for to play this, but before that, I'm going to change the color of it. So this one for health should be green, but you know what? You can place any color that you want. Should be seen over there. I'm going to change the anchor. I'm going to be leaving that anchor over there, and I'm going to be increasing this a bit. Just place it here, something like that should be good. Now compile it, save it. Let's go to our graph. And over here, I'm going to be creating a function that is to update health. And this function is going to have two inputs. The first one is going to be our current health. That's going to be a float. And then we are going to also have our max health. That's also going to be a float. So basically from this, I'm going to get a divide our current health by our max health, and then I am going to get our progress bar over here, and then I'm going to set percent. Like, actually not this one, sorry. The function, yeah, this one over here, place this value over here, and then into here. Now compile this, save it, and should be good to update our health, but I need to make this in our player. The first place that I'm going to be setting that is going to be inside of here in the event begin play, but then I'm going to be placing this in the event damage as well. In order to update our health, I'm going to get from this, I'm going to get update health. And then I'm going to be placing it over here. You can also, instead of getting this, you could just break this link and get our reference. It would be a little bit easier. Place it right here, like so. And then our current health is going to be our current health over here. And then our max health over here. Compile it, save it. So that should be good for our ready chip. Let's take a look at the game. As you can see, it's quite fine. It is updating at the start to full, but I still need to be able to receive damage. So let's do that right now. In order to receive damage, I'm going to be doing, I could do that in two different ways. I could set this in the event tick, or I could instead set this on the event damage. To cause a little bit less performance, I think it would be better to set this on the event damage instead of the event tick. You just need to be careful about this, because if for some reason you want to, let's say, do damage against your player or make him lose health for some reason that's not using this event, you need to remember to update that, because if you don't do that, it's not going to be updated by itself. And the event tick, it would update by itself. You could just, let's say, get same thing as you get over here, but in the event tick, and then would be updating each tick. I don't think it is good to do that. As I said, you could just do that in the events that you are making your player lose health, so that does not cut that much performance. So first thing, I'm going to be removing this string, make it there, and over here, I'm going to get a bit more space before this branch. Yeah, before this branch, I'm going to get a bit more space. Let's make this to our right, and then over here, I'm going to get update health. And as you can see, I can't find that event. To find that event, I'm going to be disable context sensitive, and then I can get this. That's mainly because I need a reference for this to get this. But you don't need to worry about that, because you can just get this reference over here. Let's enable context sensitive again, so that I don't forget that later. Place it here just like before. Then get our current health and our max health. Just like that. Now, and our player loses health, it should be updating it. Let's take a look. So compile this, save it. Let's take a look. And I lost health, it is updating just as I wanted. Here, I'm going to just make a print string int event that so that I know when it's the end game. So it's going to be just get end game over here. Compile it, save it. I'm also going to our BP minion. It is the notify. So let's go to our Paragon minions, enemies, notify attack. Over here, let me find it. Yeah, here in draw the book type. For duration, I'm going to make none, so that now I know it is working fine. I don't need that attack means played all the time. So that's pretty good for now. So almost everything it's good, but I need to create a evolution system so that our player is able to evolve by killing with pro enemies. So how we can do that? So first thing, we need to have experience in order to be able to level up, and we also need levels. So let's create those variables. Let's create this one. The first one is going to be, let's say, for experience, and this time is going to be integer, and the next one is going to be for the level, integer as well. Compile it, save it, and basically what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to have a specific level. Yeah, I need another one to know how much experience I need to level up. So let's say another variable needed, let's say max experience. If it hits that point, then I should level up. That's basically it. But how could I do that? I'm going to have a lot of enemies and I don't want to set a cast between our BP minion in the event death and our player. How could I do that? Well, there are multiple times that I could do that. I could use our interface for our enemy or create a new one and place between our player and our enemy. I think it's going to be a little bit easier if I just use this one because I only have one function here right now. So I'm going to be adding a function over here that is to add experience. And I'm going to have one input that is the amount to add. So let's get integer and save it. And basically I'm going to our BP menu. Now I have this add experience. I'm going to get a message. So here in our the events over here, I am going to get that where it should be. Let me take a look. So before playing the montage or after it, I think I'm going to be making this before playing the montage. So just get it a little bit to our right. Over here, I'm going to get add experience and it's going to be a message. So disable context sensitive. Let's get this message over here. And then I am going to be placing it here and then into here. Our target is going to be our player character. So let's just get a reference for our player character. And I also am going to be enable context sensitive again. Place our reference over there. The amount to give, let's create a new variable so that's a little bit easier for you to modify. Let's say experience to give. The type is going to be integer, compile it, and place it here in the amount. Let's say this minion should give something like 50 points of experience. Compile, save it. Now in our spare paragon over here, I'm going to get, yeah, I think I forgot to add that interface. Yeah, I actually have the interface. I don't need to add it. Sorry about that. Should be, no, I don't have it in the player character. I need to add. I forgot. Let's go to class settings. Over here into implemented interface, I'm going to get the interface underscore enemy. Then this time I'm going to get the event, so just get the event add experience. Over here, I am going to just get a bit of space over there. Then I am going to get our experience, and I'm going to be adding this new amount of 1 second. I'm going to be adding this new amount. Yeah, just get down here. And I'm going to be setting a new value for our experience. Just like so. Then let's say by default our experience is 0, our level is 0, but by default our max experience is 100. So like that. Then I'm going to check, I'm going to get a branch. And I could actually, let's say our level, I think I'm going to be making like this. I'm going to make it our level 1 by default. And what I'm going to be checking if is that our experience, one sec, our current experience is greater or equal to our max experience multiplied by our level. That gets harder every time to level up. So if this is true, then it should level up. So I'm going to get our level and I'm going to set our level. I'm going to add 1 to our current level, just like that. And then I'm going to set our current experience to 0, just like so. So that is our experience system. I should be able to level up, but once I level up, I should be able to select a new ability. How can I do that? So let's just comment this so that I don't forget. This is our experience system inside our character. Just to note that this is working fine, I'm going to just be getting a print string to get our current experience. Just note that's working fine. And I'm going to be print our current experience, compile, save it. I'm going to get multiple of those enemies. Let's get 3. That's good. That's I'll also test this with multiple enemies. 3 hits should be able to kill an enemy. And then yeah, it is. So I got 100 points of experience. It's a little bit harder for you to see because it's the left corner, and I can't control how big that is. So now I should be level 2. So now I should get back to 50 points of experience by killing this enemy. And as you can see, it works fine. So now we have our experience. I need to be able to level up. For that, I'm going to be creating another widget where our player is going to be able to select his abilities. So let's get to content drawer. Let's get to widgets. Over here, I'm going to be creating another user interface, widget blueprint. This one's going to be a user widget. Let's get y underscore level up. Let's open this up. In the palette, I am going to add canvas panel. Add a canvas panel. Over here, let's say I have 3 options to evolve our character, something like that. I could just get a horizontal box, and then over here I'm going to get our anchor for the middle. Let's get the position for here, here, and then here. And then I am going to get a button inside this horizontal box, and then a text. Let's say this button is going to be button underscore ability 1. And then this text is going to be text ability 1. Then I'm going to just be copying this, pasting it again and again inside the horizontal box. Next one is going to be ability 2, text 1 second, text 2 as well. Same thing goes over here and then into here. Let me take a look. Yeah, sorry about that. This one should be 3. 3 and then 3 here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now let's compile this, save it. So basically what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to make this horizontal box a little bit bigger. Get something like this. Let's place where I want. Something like that should be good. Now let's get our first button, and I'm going to make it to fill. The same thing for this one and this one. So that's occupying the same space. That's a little bit up there, should be good. Something like this. I want a little bit over the center. Something like this. Yeah, that should be good. So Let's say our first ability is, I don't know, let's say increase the velocity of our attacks. So let's say attack speed. That's going to be our first ability. Let's say the next one is going to be increase our health. Yeah, so that we can receive more damage. So let's say increase health. And then the last one, let's see. Let's say increase movement speed. Yeah, so let's say movement speed. Like that. That should be good. So now I am going to our Sparrow character over here. I am going to be getting, I'm going to be creating a widget. So let's create widget. And then I'm going to get that y underscore level up. And I'm going to be adding this to report. Actually, before that, I need to promote this to a variable so that I'm able to remove that from parent once I level up. So let's just promote this to a variable. And the notice is the y underscore level up. Let's break this link and place this one here, and then here, and then here, like that. And yeah, that should be pretty much it. I also want to get our health back to the max. So let's say once I level up, I am going to get our health back. Let's do that right now. So I'm going to get our current health. Let's see, current health. And I'm going to set it, yeah, I could just set our current health to our max. But I could, let's say if I increase our amount of health, I could get, yeah, I think I would make that on the ability itself. Or I could do that before leveling up. So I'm going to be doing that before. But basically what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be setting this to our max health. But don't forget, since I am not updating this in the event tick, I am going to need to set this event where I'm going to be updating both our widget. So I'm going to get that over there. Not going to be using right now, but just so that I don't forget to make this. Compile it, save it, and let's take a look. So basically now from our button ability, I am going down here and I'm going to get on click it. Same thing for this one. Let's get on click it. Yeah, it's easier to get to designer tab and just get down there. Second button, on click it, and then third button, on click it as well. So the way that I'm going to be doing that is that I'm going to have events there to increase these abilities inside our player. This is not something that can be very dynamic because the ability stats that's going to be modifying can be very different how you can set this up, or if you're going to give different abilities and things like that. So you need to get a specific event for each one. The good thing is that you can use a cast. You don't need to worry about that because it is not going to be used a lot. So a cast is possible over here. You could just get, let's say, get player character and then make a cast to BP. Actually, it is Sparrow player character like that. You could do that here, here, and here as well. But I need to set those events. So let's go to our Sparrow character. Over here, I am going to get custom events. Let's get custom events. The first one is ability 1. And then I'm going to get another custom event, ability 2. And then another custom event, ability 3. Like that. Compile it, save it. Now in our widget, I'm going to get here ability 1, and then here ability 2, and then here, oops, and then here ability 3. So now I should just be able to gain these stats, so I'm going to be making that logic right now. For our first ability, let me just check first which one was. our Y main is not going to be this one. I can close that now. Our Y level up. Let's see. So the first ability is to increase our attack speed. But how I can change our attack speed in this Sparrow player character? So it's going to be quite different between different characters, but I think one thing that you could use to make this work at least most of the times for you. So just 1 second, I want to just be deleting the print string. I don't need that anymore. I know it is working fine. Make it, could place it there. Is that I could get in here into our combo system setup, and basically what we can change is the play rate for the animation regarding the attacks. So let's say I could create a variable over here for the, let's say, attack speed. This could be a float, just like there. And by default, I'm going to make this as 1. Make it like that. And then here, I'm going to get our attack speed. And I'm going to place as our play rate. So let's say if it is like this, it is 1. I compile this. I go to our game. And as you can see, it is working just as before because the number is 1. I also need to be able to see to select a button. Don't worry about that for now. Basically, what I'm going to be doing now, just to show to you, is that look what would happen if I make this attack speed into 10. So let's go there. So as you can see, yeah, this video gets on the way. I'm going to just go again without reading those emails. So as you can see, yeah, it's a little bit harder to speak with the sound, but basically what is happening is that the fire rate is 10 times faster, so that is something that we could see, let's say, in the end game of your game, something like that. So that's basically it, what I'm going to be using for our attack speed, and as you notice, this increases the damage because there's going to be more arrows that's going to be hitting your targets. So I'm going to make this by default as 1. And every time our character select this ability 1, I'm going to make this level up. So let's just get I'm going to set our attack speed to our current attack speed plus 1. Just like that. So now every time he selects it, should update our attack speed about the health of our character. I made this thing over here that I could use to update the health. And I think this is actually, I could increase the health. This part just increase the health itself. I'm not going to be using this always. But basically this thing over here is going to be something that could be used in a lot of places. As I said before, I'm not going to be placing this in the event tick. So, and I want that every time I gain a level, my stats go back to full. That includes my health. So for that reason, I think I'm going to make a custom event to update our health. So let's just get a custom event. Let's say update health. And the reason why I'm creating a custom event is just that I don't need to always get everything as I'm getting over here every time I need to update our health. So let's just comment this as update health. Like that. If you decide to include mana, stamina, things like that, you could include this as well. But for now, once I get this ability, I'm going to be updating our health. And the same thing, the same function, I'm going to be using over, let's see, damage is going to be here. So I'm going to just be deleting this and place this like so. So it's a little bit easier to see. Now going back here to our attack speed, I'm going to be updating health. And now for the other one is about our, actually this one is for attack speed, this one is going to be, I think it is for health. Let me check this out. So ability 2 is about increasing our health so that I can receive more damage. So let's say every time I level up, I'm going to increase our max health by something like, let's say, yeah, sorry about that. I forgot one thing. One thing that I forgot here in our update health. I'm going to make just one thing before that. Is that I'm going to be making an input over here. So let's just get input. This one's going to be of the type boolean, and it's just to check if it should get our health to full. So let's just say full, like that. And then I am going to get a range over here. If this is true, then I am going to actually just place this down here. Yeah, actually, this is going to be for true and for false. Sorry about that. But if this is true, then I'm going to be updating our max health, our current health to our max health. Just like that. Get this over here into true and then back to update health. And then basically I'm going to get, in this case, going to be false, and in this case, going to be false as well. But if I want our character to receive all his entire health back again, I could just use that. So let's just expand this, compile it, save it. Now in our second ability, I'm going to get our max health, and I'm going to set our max health to, let's say, our current max health to something to, let's say, more 50 points of health every time. Then place it here. You don't need to actually worry about how this is going to affect the widget, because that function is taking care of that. So as you can see here in this, where it was, yeah, this is level up, but in the other widget over here, I have a function to predict health that's basically getting our max health as well. So don't need to worry about that. It's going to be setting a percent based on that and our current health. So now in our second ability, what I think I'm going to be doing after I'm going to get our update health, and I'm going to be setting it here. Sorry about that. I said this one should not be set to true, but actually should. And then for our third ability, let me check really quickly which one it was. So movement speed, and there are a small mistake over there. Now it should be good. Compile it, save it. Now here in our third ability, to update our movement speed, what I can do is that I can get our character movement, and then I'm going to set max walk speed. And for that, I am going to get max walk speed, and let's say I'm going to add, let's say something like, I don't know, right now it should be 600. So let's say if I add something like, let's say 100 each time to our current max walk speed, you get this ability. And then over here, update health to full. So as you may have noticed, this type of games is a lot about stats. You're going to have abilities and things like that that you can implement in your game. Just like we have done with the attacks, you can do things like that, give special items. But most of the things that you're actually going to be doing is that you're going to be incrementing the stats of your characters, of your players, and so on. So most of it you can do just by incrementing stats. Then, of course, you also need to add something that is truly unique for your game. I don't know exactly what gameplay you're planning on implementing it, but it's just about to make something that's going to be fun at the end. And this quick evolution is something that people like a lot. So now for our abilities should be working. If I compile this and I go for our game, let's test this out. I just need to keep two of them. Yeah, I need to be able to select this, because as you can see right now, I have this widget, but I'm not able to select this widget. So for that, let's get our sparrow over here. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is that once I create this level up widget, I am going to also get over here, let's just get a bit of space here and then here. I am going to get player controller, and then from this I am going to set show mouse cursor to true, just like that. And then I am also going to get set ignore look input. You could froze your game, but I actually don't want that. I like the rapid pace. I know some games, some roguelike games, freeze the game, but that's option. You can make your own framework for this. I think is I don't actually like it frozen the game. I like to have to make these quick decisions, but that's up to you. You can froze your game if you want. In my case, I'm going to only be enable it so that our player can make the decision for our level up. And then now here, I need to remove that widget as well. So in order to remove that widget, once I have selected the ability, I am going to get our Y level up, this one over here, and I am going to remove from parent. But this thing is not that I notice, is going to be the same thing from here to there. So I could actually delete this, place this remove from parent over here, and then just get these nodes into the same one. So this is our abilities to evolve. So let's say level up. And then I am going to show bubble, just like that. Compile it, save it. Now let's see if this, and this is to create our widget level up. So let's just say create level up widget. And then show bubble as well, just like that. And I need to disable this at the end. So this ignore look input needs to be true. And then at the end, I'm going to make this to false. So just copy this and then place it down here. And then make it false and false. Get it inside the comment, compile it, and it should be good now. Let's see that in our game. So I'm going to level up some ability, and I'm going to just see if it is working out. Let's say I increase our movement speed. I can't actually see that much of a difference. Let's say if I have multiple of those enemies, just get 1, 2, 3. Let's copy this, place up here, and then let's try again. Let's just be increasing our movement speed over and over again, just to see if I can see the difference. So you may have noticed that leveling up again, yeah, I clearly have more movement speed now. So I'm gaining more stats and I'm going to be becoming more and more powerful. You could also increment the jump. That's something that could be used as well. So that you can, let's say, in the end of the game, you could make your character jump over off the map. You can do that by using our character movement. I just made these 3 abilities so that you can see a few examples of how you can implement your increment the stats of your player. Of course, don't forget, it's not all about stats, it's about giving special ability as well. The logic for this is very similar to the main attack that I created, so I'm not going to be creating another one. You can use that as base to create more abilities, attacks that you could give to your players. Now, one thing is that about our map. I am going to be using a map that I got from Unreal Engine Marketplace because I don't think the point of this tutorial is about showing how to create gameplay for roguelike games, and this is not going to be part of this tutorial. So I'm going to be using this asset that I got from the Unreal Engine Marketplace. It is from Unreal Engine itself, and so you can get it for free if it is the Infinite Blade Grassland. So I am going to get this map over here, this Elven Ruins. I'm going to open this up, just save selected, wait a bit. I got a small error, but should not affect us very much. So this is the map we're going to be using. Let's just wait a bit. I think this is quite good. So basically what I want to do here is just show how you can implement this. You could create a spawn for your enemies, and maybe that would be good. We have videos in this channel showing how you can create that. Not sure if I'm going to have enough time to create this in this video, but one thing that you could do is to also make it handmade, place in specific location in the maps that we're going to be using. I also want to set this Elven Ruins as our main map, so let's do that right now. So for that, just select file and then, actually it should be on the map. Select file and then you're going to see this option for, should be, actually it's on edit, sorry about that. So edit the project settings and just search for level, I think. I'm not sure how it was maybe mapped. So you can select the main map, that's going to be the starter map. You can also have a menu for your players. That's going to be the first thing that they are going to see. I'm not going to be creating that. So instead, I'm going to be selecting that Elven Ruins and then here as well. So that this is what you're going to see once you start this game. And at least for start, I think I'm going to be placing a few minions around here. And I'm going to see how it is like to play this game. So let's get our content drawer, enemy. I have these minions. So let's say here at the start, I'm going to have 2 minions. And then I'm not going to be dealing a lot with the rotation, location, and things like that. Something like that should be good for me. Now let's get, let's say, another 3 over here. So let's take a bit of time before getting to our character. Let's get one more here, and then here, and then here, just like that. Now let's place a few more. Let's say I could place a few over here. One thing that unfortunately I'm not going to have time to do, but I could have not make them start chasing our player right away. I could make some kind of way so that they are able to first, let's say, detect our player by seeing if it is on site or not. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have time to do that in this video, but it would be good as well. I think it would work quite well for this video, for this kind of thing. So just place one here. Let's get a few more here. And then here. I'm actually worried a little bit about the current stat as well, about to level up, because right now the max experience is increasing by quite a bit each time. So I think I'm receiving 50 points of experience for each minion that I am killing. And to get the right values for this is something that is actually there is just no way to figure it out without really playing your game a lot of times to see what would be the best one. I think for our experience, I'm increasing the max experience by a lot. So let me take a look. So I have event to add experience. We are going to see if it is our max experience. If it is, then yeah, that's strange. We are not increasing the max experience. No, we are actually not. Yeah, that's really strange. Let me just see. I was thinking I was doing that. So over here we have our level, increasing our level. I'm setting the experience, but I should be increasing our max experience as well, so that it's not that easy to level up once I get higher levels. Yeah, I remember now. So basically our max experience is being multiplied by our current level. And that's I don't actually like this one. Not like this at least. So let's say I think I'm going to be making a little bit more, a little bit different, because right now it's going to take quite a lot of experience the more levels I get. So instead, I think I'm going to first multiply this value by, let's say, 0.2. So that's 0.2. Yeah, this is an integer. Sorry about that. I'm going to make this to a float. Yeah, now 0.2. Because now it's going to be only 20% of our level to increase our max experience. I think that should be working a little bit better. So let's compile, save it. And yeah, now I need to test this in our game. I have a few minions there. Let's see how this game looks like. So let's hit play. Yeah, a bit of lag there. Sorry about that. So that's strange. They didn't die, but I got the level for some reason. Let's see what is the problem. So yeah, one of them dies, but yeah, I understand now. So the thing is that at the start is very easy to get first level, but yeah, that's actually what I want. So at the start, since this is multiplying by 0.2 and is going to be multiplying right here, is going to be 1 multiplied by 0.2. So our max experience multiplied by 0.2. That's basically it. So it's going to be 25 points of experience. And since we get 50, killing only one enemy is enough to level up at the start. And I'm fine with it. Can modify if you want. So I'm going to kill this first one. I'm going to increase our attack speed. Kill another one. Increase attack speed again. Yeah, this does not get blocked. Let's increase our attack speed again. Let's now increase our movement speed. Increase movement speed again. As you can see, it is a little bit harder to level up now. The first level is, of course, going to be a little bit easier. I am just not completely sure if it is also really increasing this, because it was quite, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just that to really make a difference is going to be only around level 8 to 9 or something like that. That's going to be making a difference. Right now, I think this is too little. Let's try maybe with 0.4. Compile it, save it. Let's take a look. Yeah, increase attack speed. And I think I got a bug for some reason. The widget is not getting out. Yeah, maybe the reason is that I got two widgets at the same time. One thing that I should notice is that I can level up only once. And I was not thinking this could be a problem. But now that I think about, maybe, yeah, sometimes at the start at least he may level up, or maybe for some reason he's going to stock quite a lot of the experience, and sometimes he may level up multiple times in just a few seconds without really choosing another ability. So I need to deal with that. Basically, we have here our Sparrow. Let's see. So if we level up, it's going to be creating a widget, but I need to know if there is a widget already created. So let me see. There are multiple ways to set this up. I could make a gate. The thing is that I need to set this after that. I think the best way to do this is just to check a statement, and that's basically what I'm going to be doing. So let's create a statement over here in our variable to know if there is a widget already open. So like that, it's going to be a boolean. Once I create this widget, I am going to be setting this to true. And if there is a widget already open, then here in our add experience in level up, I am going to just be, let me see. Yeah, it needs to be before that. Actually could get there, then there could get there multiple times. That could be a problem, I'm not sure. Let me just think a bit. Yeah, so instead I am going to just be placing between these two. So I'm going to get the widget over here, and I'm going to get a branch. Check if I can create this widget or not. And if this is, yeah, it should be not, so just get not boolean. Place it over here. And our widget here. Let me see, yeah. So if it is not, then it should go through. If it is, and then Otherwise, I'm going to just get a delay of maybe thing is that this delay should get into here. Could be a problem. Let me see. So, you know what? I know the best way to do this. So instead, I'm not going to be placing it over here. This could be a problem. Actually, I'm going to be using that, but just not here. Just break this link and this one. Get this down here. And then basically what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be placing this in the event add experience at the start. So just get this into here. And then into here, like so. Actually, not there, sorry. Break this again. Break this link, not there, should be over here because I want to add that experience first. So into here, this branch. Then here, like that, and that should be good. So that is going to add this experience, but it's not going to check if it should level up or not. And then here in the level up, I'm going to get this event add experience. Once I level up, I'm going to get add experience, message, and the target is going to be self. And the amount to give is going to be 0. I don't need to give anything. It's just to check if it should level up or not. Compile it, save it, and should be good. And of course, since this switch being set to true, here it should be set to false. So get ready to set it to false. So compile it. Let's play this game once again. Let's test this out. Let's just not get stuck there. Let's kill them. So I think the first one is going to be 2 widgets. That's because it's going to stock a little bit of experience from the first one. That's going to happen a bit at the start. Let's increase our movement speed. Let's increase our movement speed again. And yeah, so that's basically the game. Of course, there are a lot of improvements that you can make to make it better, but that's mainly what I want to show to you about how you can make these gameplays for the roguelike games. And of course, please don't forget that you really need to think about what you're going to make in your game to make it truly unique, because in AAA games, they actually have a base game that they can use to make that every year. But if you are something like an indie company or just a solo developer, you need to have great ideas, something that is different to have some success in this industry. So that's mainly it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Visit train.memtinteract.com and enroll in this course to get all source files. Use coupon code MEMT to enroll for free.